Hey everyone, today we're diving into something I think you've probably felt, but maybe didn't have a name for. It's this quiet, powerful kind of confidence you see in people who really live their lives offline.
We see versions of confidence all over our feeds, right? The perfect vacation shots, the huge smiles, the thousands of followers. But is that really it? In a world that's so obsessed with being seen, what does genuine confidence even look like anymore?
So, to really unpack this, let's look at two totally different mindsets. Over on the left, you've got the online performance. This is all about being loud, getting that external validation, and showing off a curated, perfect life. But on the right, there's the offline soul. This is about presence, listening to your own internal compass, and valuing real, lived experience. Let's see what that actually means.
All right, first up, let's explore a world we all know, maybe a little too well, the performance of posting. And more importantly, that powerful cycle of external validation that keeps it all going.
Think about the last concert or a beautiful sunset you saw. How many phones were up, recording? It feels like there's this unspoken rule now, where documenting the moment is almost more important than actually living it. And that is a huge, huge shift in how we experience our own lives.
And this pressure, it traps us in what you see right here, the validation loop. First, we find that perfect moment and we curate it. Then, we post it for everyone to see. And then comes the wait, for the likes, the comments, the shares to start rolling in. And when they do, boom, you get that quick dopamine hit, that little fleeting high that makes you want to do it all over again.
This chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? In this performance model, the external stuff, the likes, comments, shares, that makes up a massive 90% of our perceived value from an experience. And what about our own internal satisfaction? Well, it gets pushed to the side. It's just a tiny little sliver of the whole thing.
So, what's the alternative? Let's flip the script and meet the offline soul, someone who has a totally different kind of confidence.
So who is this person, this offline soul? Well, it's anyone whose sense of self-worth is built from the inside out. Their confidence doesn't come from a digital audience. It comes from their own experiences, their values, and their real-world connections.
And this quote just perfectly captures the whole mindset. For the offline soul, being quiet online isn't a sign that nothing's happening. No, it's a sign of a life so full that it just doesn't need to be broadcast to feel real.
So what really defines them? Well, they're driven by their own personal growth, not what other people think. They find real joy in just being in the moment. They focus on deep, actual connections with people, and they measure their own success with their own internal scorecard. But here's the most important part. It's not that they're against social media, they're just indifferent to its validation. It just doesn't move the needle for them.
Which kind of leads us to the core question, right? Where does this quiet confidence, this stillness, actually come from?
This table really just puts it all side by side. Look at the shift in every single one of these. The audience changes from literally everyone online to just yourself. The source of your worth goes from likes and followers to your own values. And the goal of any experience completely transforms from document and share to simply live and feel.
At the end of the day, it's a profound shift in why you do things. Their purpose isn't to create a record of their life for other people. It's to be completely absorbed by it. The experience itself is the whole point, not the picture you took of it.
And ultimately, it all comes down to this one number, 1. When you're internally secure, you start to realize there's only one audience you ever really need to impress, and that's you.
So, what do we do with this idea? Let's get into our final section and talk about what it means to actually redefine your own audience. Now, let's be super clear. The takeaway here is not some lecture about how social media is evil or that you should go delete all your apps. It's way more subtle than that. It's really about a mental shift, about consciously deciding to change your primary audience from them back to you. And that really brings us to the final question, the one I want to leave you with. When you think about your life, your accomplishments, your moments of joy, who are you really performing for? Who is your primary audience? Because at the end of the day, the most meaningful life, well, it just might be the one you don't feel the need to prove to anyone else. It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.